I drink out of peanut butter jars sometimes. Don't judge me. I don't know. I like the quantity. And it's a lot cheaper than those freaking Stanley cups, I'll tell you that much. It has a lid I can trust, you know? The downside though is that the part where the label was attached is still very sticky. I'll figure it out. I haven't gotten around to cleaning the glue off. Just leave me alone. I've been busy, you know? And while I'm here, my contribution to water talk. Now granted, sugar is involved. I'm sorry. It's okay for me to have sugar. It's not a ton of sugar, but, and technically this took months to make. Months, okay? And here's why. This was water. I think this is like 32 ounces or something. Whatever quantity of water this is, with 1 packet of true lemon. So basically just a wedge of lemon juice. And about a tablespoon of white peach chung and a tablespoon of blueberry chung with some of the blueberries still in there, which are going to be delightful to eat once I get to the bottom there. So yeah, there is sugar involved. It's not a lot, but what I love about chung is because of the way you make it, it's completely cold, there's no heating. I taste the authentic flavor of the fruit, and I also just generally believe that you're also retaining the nutritional benefits of these fruits. So especially with blueberries, the antioxidants, I feel like they're just not cooked off or anything like that. So if you're willing to invest several months of work into having what I'm having here, I recommend it. Blueberry, white peach, and lemon infusion water. So you're welcome. I forgot this is about week B. I didn't mean to get off track. Getting back on track now, let's get to the painting. I decided I wanted to try something different here and come up with the source image completely ahead of time, including the background. This allowed me to come up with a good composition that included the background, not only in placement of elements, but also color scheme. Creating my source image by itself led me to realize how much I really like planning things out. I think going forward, it's definitely important for me to remember that just because you plan something out does not mean you've eliminated any possible chance of spontaneity. I still had fun painting. I had a lot of fun painting the abstract part of it. It didn't have to be exactly like the source image, but by planning it out, I eliminated the tendency to overthink, and then I was able to actually have fun. In fact, I took this outside for a bit, and someone was feeling left out. I'm sorry, Bia, but I don't trust you not to get heat stroke out here because it was hot. I couldn't stand it being out here very, very long. In fact, the sun was so blinding that I could barely see what I was doing at this point. So I just kept it basic. I just did the fundamental first layer of oil. And as I mentioned before, I was going to use a solvent-free gel this time because I heard that it would help with the drying time a little bit. And the next day, I went to carefully check if that was right. Are we dry yet? I can live with that. The only ongoing challenge of working indoors is that I'm surrounded by animals, and I love them with all my heart, but my goodness, this bird will never leave me alone. My dog won't leave me alone, and I'm surrounded by a bunch of different foster kittens who, from time to time, pop up in my videos. And obviously, even though I am working with a solvent-free gel that allows the paint to dry faster and is technically safer, I don't want any chances of a mess, any chances of them getting exposed to these things and potentially getting hurt from it. I'm trying to be as responsible as possible. So whenever I'm not working on this painting, I end up just putting it in a powder room that hardly gets used, that they never go into, so that no accidents can happen. But when I am working, that's when it can become a real issue. And I've just done my best to deal with that. But anyway, enough about my problems. You're most likely here for this painting, and I guess I should respect that a little bit, so here we go. I decided for my painting I was going to do a basilisk, and I was tempted to do the mythological creature known as the basilisk for my tattoo flash, but I ended up going with pulge instead. And I'm really happy with that decision. In fact, this composition, as I mentioned earlier, I was really excited about because I liked having a perched basilisk lizard and some begonia flowers cascading down. The background being inspired by the colors of bloodstone really lent itself well to this piece, both with the color story that I'm going for, as well as giving me a nice dark contrast so that the lizard and the flowers can really pop. Not very much long after I was enjoying the process did I realize, holy shit, I'm running out of time. And with this particular session, I was a little bit thicker with the paint, so even with that solvent-free gel, I needed as much time as possible for the paint to dry before I could get back in there again. Almost a full 24 hours later, after I'd gotten back home from work, I went to check on the painting to see how far. Now, I definitely expected better than this. Damn it. But then again, there are quite a few thick layers in here, so I guess it makes sense. Although, could I say that this is technically finished? It's just drying right now? Because, I mean, the basilisk... Nah, I still have that hand. Damn it. So I've had a very long day today, and it's the last day of the week. And I'd say I have maybe one more application left of this painting. And I've been up since pretty early, so I'm tempted to just not do this. But I can't. I mustn't. It's only week B. Can't I at least wait till week C? It's times like this that I'm really glad that I decided not to jump the gun and go with 2 paintings a week. Once a week is plenty with the schedule that I find myself currently having. And in fact, the next week is going to get even harder. Well, and what's funny is I really like this piece. I like where it's going. I like what it's potentially going to look like when it's finished. It's been a really long time since I've enjoyed a painting so much and have looked forward to coming home to paint it. But I'm just so tired. I must find the strength. I might be a little bit later in uploading the video, like later in the same day that it's supposed to, because I will not sleep until I get this video done. But I just had to share that, you know, after the long day that I've had today, I had an appointment that took many hours, and, you know, of course, just recovering from the way that this week has gone, to, you know, having just one more application of paint. It's become very fun for me, drawing and painting and making that a part of my regular routine. It's not easy for me to just not do it, but the level of exhaustion I'm feeling right now is trying to override my desire to get my art on, in spite of the fact that I just spent many hours at the shop being a tattoo artist. This is a different kind of art. I must find the strength. I might need Fudge to help me through this. And lo and behold, it was almost like my sister had bought this yesterday and it was already in the fridge and on my mind. Yay! This was delicious. It was just a slice of dulce de leche on a Reese's peanut butter cup. It did give me the jump start that I needed to get back into it. And so I settled in. I decided to really commit to fully finishing this piece, refining as much as I could. Even though there was still quite a bit of wet paint on there, I did the best that I could to work over all of the still very wet areas. I just needed to finish this. So this was definitely, overall, as a piece, another lesson in figuring out how to work with oil paints a lot more efficiently, a lot more effectively. If anything, this has taught me that, sure, you can use solvent-free gel and even linseed oil. There are many different methods for you to use to have a non-toxic oil painting experience, but there's also the consideration of drying time. To start, what I think that looks like for me is going back to my resources and finding out what I still don't understand yet about working with oil paints and particularly solvents. Finding what solvents are out there that exist that are safe for me, safe for my pets, and then also assisting with drying time. If I can even find out how much the drying time would be if I was to work with a particular solvent, that would be even better, so I can definitely gauge what to use throughout the painting process. If I plan on doing a painting session with the oil paints once a day for the entire week, starting from the first day, I need a solvent that can get this paint to dry within a 24-hour period so that I can stay on track. I'm not sure I mentioned this yet, but working with these paints has definitely reminded me of my very consistent goal that I've had for many, many months now, which is to join the Milan Art Institute's mastery program. And working in this way so far, trying to get even one painting done in the span of a week, reminds me of this part of the mastery program that I've heard of where you have to produce a ridiculous number of paintings, but it involves obviously working with multiple ones at the same time. And all that really would mean, I think, is working on a layer in one and then allowing that to dry while I work on another. But how I can navigate doing like 8 of them inside of a 7-day period, but it's just reminding me that if I can accomplish this, a nice proper oil painting inside of a week, then I can definitely build the skills and workflow necessary to work on multiple paintings at once and get a whole lot of work cranked out. It's all about being prolific as well as developing my skills with oil painting and painting in general, because to be honest with you, I haven't done a lot of painting lately, and the last time I did painting at all, it was mostly in watercolor because that's one of the favorite mediums in the tattoo industry. Regardless of the medium, I just know that it's important to keep practicing, have some sort of regular routine of producing artwork, whether finished or unfinished, studies or actual portfolio pieces. It doesn't really matter. The more you produce, the more you can discover yourself as a person and as an artist and find your style. And as far as I'm concerned, this painting at this time is definitely finished. So I am going to go ahead and sign off and initial it or whatever, and actually it still needs so much time to dry, so I'm going to have to put this up somewhere and then just get moving. Wrap this guy up, baby, please. Finally. Okay, so it is 10 o'clock and I've only just completed the painting and put it away, as you saw, but also now I'm only just getting to the editing of my video, so I will do whatever it takes to post it before the day is over. Wish me luck. Welcome to the world, young Basilisk. Now on to whatever the hell that seed prompt is. Oh gosh, where are my notes?